Hey again guys, I'm here with another review, and this time we go back to old school gaming with cute graphics, great gameplay and much more. But the question is this worth your time in 2023? Let's find out. The game we are talking about is Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is an open-ended country life RPG that was released on 26th of February 2016. It was developed and published by Concerned Ape, also known as Eric Barron, and it was released for Windows, Mac OS, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation Vita, and at a later date it was also released for iOS and Android. Let's begin with the beginning of the story. If you care for spoilers, I suggest you skip to the timestamp below. The game starts with your grandfather who is on his deathbed, and he wants you to inherit his old farm plot in Stardew Valley. After working in the city for so long, you start to feel depressed and want something new in life. You remember the letter your grandfather sent you? After reading this, you give up your life in the city and move to Stardew Valley, and this is where our journey begins. When you start the game, you just fall in love with its looks and colors. I felt like I was a little kid again, experiencing my first Super Nintendo game. There are also a lot of visual mods that you can use in the game to make it look even better, but I chose to play it vanilla style since that was the way the developers intended it to be. The music in the game is great and it will easily get stuck in your head. There are some places like the beach where you only hear the ocean, and that was a little weird in my opinion. I think they could have added some music there too, but it didn't keep me from playing the game. You have a few starting tools that you can use in the beginning of the game. We have a scythe for cutting grass, a watering can to water your crops, a pickaxe to smash rocks and mine, hoe to dig up dirt, and an axe to cut down trees and gather wood. These are the starting tools that you have at hand, but there are a lot more in the game that you will find out as you progress in the game. Your tools can also be upgraded by obtaining materials like copper, iron, gold, and iridium in the mines, which we will get into later. You will also need money to upgrade your tools, but it's not like in other games where you have a crafting bench or an upgrading bench. You have to go into town and visit the blacksmith that will help you upgrade your tools. And it's not done right away. It takes 2 days, so plan ahead before upgrading tools. So the concept of the game is that you have a farm and a plot of land where you can plant all kinds of different things. Everything from plants, vegetables, trees, mushrooms. When you start out, the farm is pretty much a mess and you have to do some cleaning to make room to be able to plant your first seeds. To obtain seeds, we have to go to the local merchant in town and buy them. We can also upgrade our backpack here, and I strongly suggest that you do this as soon as possible since you will run out of room all the time. After buying your seeds, you go back to your farm, plant them, water them, and then you wait for them to finish. And then you can sell them or use them for other things in the game, which we will also get into later. Since your plants take a few days to grow, you can only obtain money when you sell them. You will be kind of broke until you can harvest, but don't fret. You can also fish in this game. And it's a great way to earn money while waiting for your crops to fully grow. But as you will notice, you don't have a fishing rod. Just keep progressing each day and you will receive a letter. There are all kinds of fish in the water of Stardew Valley, and what you will catch can depend on the weather, time of day, what location and season you fish at. The different locations we have are ocean, river, mountain, lake, and forest pond, which all have different fish but also some of the same kind of other locations. Some fishes are very easy to catch, while others are like catching a bullet with your bare hands. After a whole day of fishing, you can sell them in your shipping bin or use it for other things, which we get into later in the review. After a few days of you planting and watering your crops, fishing from dawn to dusk, you will receive a letter about the mines being open to visit. When arriving, you will meet a man that will give you a sword since there are dangerous monsters in the mines. Make sure you bring your pickaxe since you will not only be fighting monsters, you will also be mining for different minerals that you can use for upgrades and crafting different machines that will help ease the load of your day-to-day work. Every season has 28 days and there are 4 different seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And they all have different crops, fish, and resources that you can gather around the map. So make sure to make the most of the first 4 seasons. So every day, you have to do some kind of work before you explore the map and travel around to discover new things. That's where the energy bar comes into play. So when you use your hoe, water crops, chop down trees, pickaxe some minerals or stone, or fish, you will use up energy. You can get it back by eating different fruits or cooking meals, but you have to sleep every day. You wake up at 6 a.m. and you have to make sure that you are in bed before 2 a.m. or you will pass out and you might lose some of the things in your possession. Same goes with your health bar. If you lose all your health, you will pass out and lose items, and you might even lose money. So be careful and prepare before going down into the mines or doing anything in this world. There are a lot of NPCs in Pelican Town that you will interact with. Mostly you will interact if you have a quest or a gift for someone that interests you. There is also a bulletin board where some quests will appear, but the question is, why should you do this? So, each villager has a friendship score that you can track, and how do you get these hearts? You give them gifts or do quests for them, but every heart is worth a certain point, which is 250 points. But you can't give every NPC the same thing since they all have different favorite things that they like more than other things. So you have to talk to them or test them out to find out what they like. There is also a very special place that you will spend a lot of time in, and that is the community center. And now I will explain why I've said use them for other things so many times. The community center was a beautiful place long before you showed up, but now it's an empty ghost house holding only old stories and rats. You can rebuild this by collecting certain things that can be gathered through all the things that you do in this town. So before you sell things, make sure that you check the community center so you don't miss out. But if you do miss something in a season, don't worry, you can always gather it the next year when the seasons start over. A little tip that I learned while playing: instead of running to the community center every time you gathered a new item, you can hover over them in the inventory. And if the item is something that the community center needs, this little icon that looks like a tree will pulse. This will save you a lot of time. Stardew Valley is an open-ended RPG game, so the focus on the story is minimal, but even if that is, this game still does an amazing job at showing you how a little community can flourish with some love and care for your neighbors. And it makes you feel part of something bigger than just a farm where you can plant crops and earn big bucks on sales. I would say that instead of having a big one-way focused story, we have a lot of small stories that every villager will tell you if you get to know them, just like in real life. In conclusion, there are a buttload of things to do in this game, and even if I had put down a lot of hours in this game, I even finished the community center, there is still so much more to do in this game. I will forever remember this game as a very well thought and well made game, and it reminds me of a time where developers made games that was released in a full state, no early access, no loot boxes, no pay to win, no pre-orders, and no more games being released too early since the company has been bought by another big company that makes all the decisions. I think it's also important to mention Eric Barron, who was the sole developer of this amazing game, and he spent 4 years on it. He should be proud of what he accomplished, and I hope that we will see more of his games in the future. My final verdict for this game is a 10 out of 10. I can't find anything with this game that I can complain about. Even if it's 7 years old, it's still worth your time in 2023. If you have not played it, I suggest you buy it, and I can promise you that it will consume your life. If you have a partner, warn them before you buy this, since they won't see you for some time. Well guys, that was it for this time, and I do hope that you enjoyed this review. I sure enjoyed making it. If you did enjoy it, I do have a channel that will be packed with reviews like this. And if you want to take part of my journey through all kinds of games, you are welcome to join. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, life is too short to play bad games. Let me help you find the best. See you guys.